everybody. I'm Melissa Bonzak, and welcome to episode 44 of Books Cubed, the show where I chat with the indie authors that you should be reading. It is Thursday, October 10th, 2019, and I'm dying to know what you're reading. So drop down to the show notes and click on the link and let me know. You can also go to melissabonzak.com. That's spelled MELISSA. B as in boy, A-N, C as in car, Z as in zebra, AK.com slash books_cubed. It's all just like it sounds. Anyway, or you can also find me on Instagram under books_cubed. So what am I reading? Let's see. I'm going to look at my notes because I can never remember the names of things and I want to get them right. I am reading The Unknown Devil by Tom Fowler, which is book 2 in the C.T. Ferguson mysteries. So let me read the description that is on Amazon. A gray hat hacker, a dark-hearted crime boss. Baltimore isn't big enough for both of them. C.T. Ferguson uses his illicit digital skills as a private investigator. And when a teenage boy wants to find his missing brother, C.T. takes the case. He soon discovers the missing brother is a fellow keyboard wizard, which piques his interest. Then shadowy figures turn up wherever CT goes. He gets an offer he's not supposed to refuse from a budding gangster. He declines it anyway, of course. But how is it all connected to the missing programmer? When the investigation takes a turn for the worst, CT must contend with the police trying to arrest him and a cadre of enforcers trying to kill him. Can he follow the clues online and in the real world in time to reunite a family? We'll see. I've just started it, so hopefully. I always root for the good guy. So let's see, what else am I reading? I don't know if I mentioned this cozy a couple weeks ago. I kind of think I did, but I'm not sure I did. It's called Bed, Breakfast, and Bones by Carolyn Dean. It was really, really fun. I'm going to look for it here so I can read you the description. And she has a bunch of books in the series, so I'm really excited to dive into this little town that she has created. Let's see, the description is Amanda Graham inherited a rundown bed and breakfast, a starving cat, and some dead guy who's buried in her garden. What should have been a simple remodeling project and a new business in a small Oregon beach town winds up with her uncle named as the #1 murder suspect, a slew of odd neighbors and problematic townspeople, and Amanda wanting to just sit down and eat her weight in chocolate pie. Sure, she could pack her bags and travel back to L.A., or should she dig in, heal from her failed romance, and find a whole new set of friends and adventures in Ravenwood Cove? And how could a quiet little coastal village have so many secrets? All the ingredients for a very fun, cozy, and a very fun, cozy series. So I am looking forward to diving further into that one. And let's see, the other book that I'm reading this week is called Absolute Recall by Lori Flynn, who is on the show this week. So hang on, let me read the description of Absolute Recall. The young and newly widowed Reagan Martin is a quick-witted nurse, blessed or cursed with an eidetic memory. She has inadvertently browsed through her now-dead husband's ledger that depicts his calculated shelter of the mob's bounty, systematically scattered throughout 4 states and a dozen locations. Its deadly contents have been forever implanted in her mind. She now finds herself in mortal danger as the same ruthless people who murdered her husband want her silenced. When the program designed to protect her is compromised, she's forced on the run, hunted by ruthless killers. Alone on a perilous journey, she assumes fraudulent identities to survive. The mob wants their money. She wants to live. Her lone ally, the brooding and protective special agent Hudson Garvey, is powerless to deny the sizzling connection between them. He dedicates his time and resources to find her, track the evil trailing her, and save her life before it's too late. And Lori's on the show this week, so let's get right to it. Okay, so I want to welcome Lori Flynn today, and she writes suspense, thriller, and romantic suspense. And her latest novel is "I Love You to Pieces," right? Is that the latest one?
Right. Yes.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and welcome to the show.
Thank you so much.
And we're going to get you to read some. So, but first, give everybody the elevator pitch. What is this book about?
Well, it's like Mommy Dearest meets Sybil. It's the elevator pitch to it. It's about It's about a girl named Olivia who set in South Florida, which I write what I know. And she's born into privilege, and her father adores her. He loves her to pieces, but her mother, not so much. Her mother just wants the privilege part, doesn't want anything to do with Olivia, and abuses her terribly and shatters her psyche, and um, doesn't turn out very well. All Olivia really wants is a normal life, and with help of her grandmother, she does survive her childhood, but nothing about her is really normal at all, which you learned. She starts losing time. She has in her notebooks in school, there's handwriting that she doesn't recognize. She develops a problem with shoplifting that she doesn't understand. Her toenail polish changes colors without her knowing it, where it's coming from. And so many things that she can't explain. She just still, she gets a college degree, she
Yeah.
gets a boyfriend, she gets a job, she gets everything, but it's all a facade.
Yeah,
So
so there's something going on that we need to find
going
out
on
what's
that,
going on. So
yes,
why don't you read a little bit to
yes.
get everybody
Okay.
into it?
Okay, so this is chapter 34, and it's in Olivia's point of view. And to set it up, she's the main character. She's been out of work because she got an injury at work, which I won't go into, but she's just returning to work this day. And this is the day she's picked to go back. And she's just woken up, and she's surrounded by her three dogs, Lily, Webster, and Buckley. And she works at a animal where they help animals. She relates to sick animals. And her boyfriend, Ben, is really concerned about her, about the lost time that Olivia can't explain. So she sort of just makes up excuses. So that's what's going on here.
Okay.
Thunder raged in the morning sky, sparking a booming howl from Lily at a pitch only a beagle could deliver. It jarred Olivia from her deep sleep. Stop that, Webster, she mumbled to the black and white Sheltie, giving his feathered coat a nudge. He hovered over her pillow, excitedly sniffing her hair. Buckley's kind eyes met hers as his long yellow body paced a path to her bed. At least everyone's accounted for. Working from home for the last 6 weeks had pleased Ben. She couldn't continue forever. She had designated this day as her official return. Her head pounded. Why today? Not again. Olivia checked the time, certain she'd be late. Her stomach rolled. Sliding to the edge of the bed, she dashed to the bathroom before retching what reeked of tequila, then slumped to the cool tile floor. How can I vomit alcohol? All I drank last night was tea. She sat and waited, breathing in through her nose and out through her mouth till the nausea subsided and the room stopped spinning. Answers didn't come, only tears. She wanted desperately to rinse her mouth and wash that damn floral scent from her hair. It helped her accomplish the steep climb to the shower. Her body ached in places it had no reason to. She flinched under the pulsing shower head and then dressed fireman fast. Olivia hurried from the house. Picturing Maria and Christian waiting at breakfast, she pursed her lips. She could do without their well-meaning questions and advice. With sheer will and determination, she drove to work. Any hopes of boosting her resolve before taking the long hike to the building shattered as a sharp knock vibrated inches from her ear. The thunderous sky seemed the perfect backdrop to Ben's clouded look of concern centered in her window. Olivia lowered the glass and feigned a smile. If you're not careful, your face will stay that way. What way? Scrunched and worried. What's wrong, Ben? What are you doing here? Ben swallowed hard while kicking a small stone away from his foot. He crouched down beside her window and held her eyes. His intensity shortened her already shortened breath. She thought it possible that she'd be sick before finding out what he had to say. I called you last night several times. You didn't return any of them. I was probably asleep and didn't hear the phone. Olivia dug her cell phone from her cavernous bag and scrolled through the long list of missed calls. I'm sorry, I worried you. That was my first thought. But you're such a light sleeper. I couldn't get it out of my head. I called Maria to have her check on you. You weren't home. Shock crossed Olivia's face. The night before was as much a mystery to her as it was to him. She'd deal with Maria's meddling another time. What mattered more to her was literally staring her in the face, and he had her backed into a corner. Let me make sure I understand, she said. You're here this morning because you think I went out last night without you? I realize I just had a problem with amnesia, but did I miss the wedding? Raising her eyes, she peered directly into his. You're out of line, Ben. I'm out of line? Excuse me for worrying about you. His nostrils flared inches from her eyes. She could count his pulse from the vein twitching in his neck. Every beat made her head hurt even more. Since the injury, I'm lucky I have the energy to get me through lunch, much less an evening out. You know that. When you sent Maria to check on me, I was probably out walking on the beach. I stayed up there until the thunderstorms chased me back. After that, I took my migraine meds and went to bed. Maybe I should have checked in with the warden first. He stood and opened her door. Can you get out? I've lost feeling in my feet. I'm not sure I can. Go to work, Ben. He waited as he held his ground and the door. Shit. Inhaling, she stepped from the car. Her stomach flipped as her head threatened to crack like a coconut. When he pulled her into her arms, she swallowed back vomit. I'd like to ask you if I've behaved like an ass, Ben said, but a good lawyer knows not to ask a question he already knows the answer to. I've got a quarter all day. I'll call you later. I'll be sure to answer it so you won't be tempted to call the National Guard. He grinned. Should you be here today? I'm fine, just tired. Take it slow. Shuffling his feet, he returned to his car. Olivia watched him drive away, relieved she'd avoided the conflict, but saddened with the lies she'd so casually spun. She leaned against the car to stay vertical. It eased her conscience some that she'd reassured him. The truth felt like a rock lodged in her heart.
Dun, dun, dun. Oh, that's great. That's great. That's a good sample, and gives everybody an idea of what is happening in the book. And it is suspense, right?
Yes.
It's more suspense than romance.
Yes, well, they have they love each other, and he wants to trust her, but of course he's an attorney and he doesn't trust anyone. And and yes, it goes on that she gets in trouble, but she doesn't understand why she's in trouble because she doesn't remember. She ends up with a tattoo behind her ear that she doesn't understand how it got there, and she ends up with an IUD that she doesn't understand how that got there. And
so she's got to set out an investigation and figure out what is going on with her life.
She doesn't know before she can, decide to. I have to really do something about this. She's something happens to stop her from being able to do that. So,
yeah. Oh, nice. And where is the book available?
Anywhere, Amazon, Barnes and Noble, anywhere you'd like to purchase it, you can purchase it.
Pretty much everywhere. Okay, well, we'll put a link in the show notes. Do you have one of those universal links that takes you to everywhere?
If I do, I don't know how to get there. So no, just
we'll figure out how to do a universal link for you, so it'll make it easy for everybody.
Thank you. Yes, I'm so not technical. Yes, my son usually does all this for me, and he gets some. Hey, Mom, I've taught you how to do all of this. How have you lived this long without doing things? Like,
oh yeah, I've got one of those too.
Yes.
Yeah. In fact, ours does everything that's electronic or anything like that. So in fact, we'll have things and they'll say, no, you go sit over there and I'll take care of all this because you won't do it right. Yeah.
That's what he does too. And then my memory is so horribly bad. My first book that I wrote is Absolute Recall. It's another one that she has an eidetic memory because I thought, wouldn't it be wonderful to remember everything that you've ever seen, looked at, which is an eidetic memory. So I gave her that, like, and because I wanted one, and I
Yeah,
thought,
yeah.
"I'm gonna write about that because I want one of those." And, but of course, with her, it's not a good thing because, she witnesses something that's going to get her murdered. And, yeah,
Ah.
and, but and I just was so jealous of this my character the whole time because my
Oh,
memory
yeah,
was, like,
yeah.
horrible,
Well,
and
yeah, I feel like I might want to too, but then I think I read something that people with that kind of memory, they have, like, everyday little things that they can't remember how to do
yes, yeah,
because the
yeah,
brain is so full of everything
of
that,
other
like,
things.
making coffee, they don't know how to do it.
Yeah, right, like the simple things, but, like,
Yeah.
they can remember things like the first day they've met you, what you were wearing, the date, the time, um, oh my gosh, I if you ask me right now where my car keys were, I can't tell you, you know?
Yeah, yeah. My uncle had, where you could ask him on September 7th, 65, what was the weather like? And he'll tell you. He would be able to tell you. He knew
Yeah,
that was the one thing that he could do. It was
right, right, but I'm never mad at anyone because I can't remember, like, I'll walk through the mall with my daughter and she'll say, "Oh, there's Sherry," and I'll say, "Oh," and I'll say, "Oh," she'll go, "I think you're mad at her." "Oh, okay." I'm like,
yeah.
"Why?" I'm
Well,
blind.
that's good then, though. If you forget the little things, those little things
Right,
that, because a lot of times, we have something we get mad about, and it really is nothing. And
yes,
and
and I
then
don't remember it. I
yeah, then
don't
you need somebody
remember it.
who's going to come forward and break the ice and bury the hatchet. And so, if you were always the person that did that, that would be probably a good thing.
I'm never mad. I'm never mad. Somebody will say, call me. "Do you want to talk about it?" "Okay, explain it, and then we can talk about
Yeah.
it." I
Yep.
don't. I don't know. Am I the one that's supposed to apologize? Okay, but we can start there. He's like, "Oh, I'm good at
Okay.
apologizing."
So that one is called Absolute Recall, which is
Yeah.
a great title.
Yes.
And that's got it's got suspense, but I thought it had maybe a little more romance in it.
Yes, because they tried to. What happened? We just jumped to this one because they. What happens here? She's a nurse. She's married to an accountant that has zero personality. He's black and white. He has no personality, and he decides to take on a person that works for the mob, and he thinks it's going to be okay,
Whoops.
and he hides their money in all these like storage places through 3 or 4 states,
Yeah.
and that's okay. He just thinks that's okay. And he puts it in a ledger of the codes for the storage spaces and where they are. And then she casually picks up the ledger and reads it. And of course, it's in her head forever. And
Yeah. Oh,
uh, he sees her pick up the ledger and says, "You can't read that." And she says, "Well, if you think it's no big deal, why can't I? Why?" And he says,
yeah.
"You didn't read it." And so she lies to him and says, I didn't do it. I didn't read it. And so he hides the ledger somewhere out of the house. But the mob thinks that the FBI is going to run a sting on them, and they come and kill the husband, burn down the house, and they don't know she's in the house too. She lives,
Yeah.
and she has all the information in her head, but she has to. The police say we have to put you in witness protection,
Yeah.
but at the last minute. Um, and there's one FBI guy that really likes her, is trying to help her, is trying to make her live, named Hudson. And but at the last minute, she sees that it's compromised because the one guy that was in her house killing her husband is driving the car, driving her to witness
Oops.
protection.
Yeah. Oh
So,
dear.
so she has to escape. She saves her grandmother. She puts her in a house that nobody knows she owns, and
Yeah.
her dog. She puts him
Yeah.
there, Bentley the dog, and she takes off, and she assumes all these other um, alias names and things, gets weirdo jobs that nobody will know that, and she assumes new social security numbers and all these things,
Yeah.
hope that they'll get this family and that she can come back and help her,
Yeah.
grandmother. She gets a new name for her grandmother, but she can't have anything to do with her grandmother because they'll find her. And
Yeah.
so um, that's
That
how
sounds
her,
exciting. Yeah.
yeah, Yeah.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, Hudson is looking for her, but he can't find her because she keeps changing identities. Her hair color, her eye color, she changes everything.
Yeah.
And
I like it. I like it. So
yeah,
you got those two. Do you have anything new that you'll be working
I'm
on?
working on another one, which I love writing this one. The tentative title is called You're My Favorite. And it's about it's like murder murder she wrote meets the bodyguard.
Oh, I
And
like that.
a woman that's 36 years old. She gets pregnant on her 18th birthday because she's got 18-year-old identical twins. And she's an author. This one I made an author, and she's really successful. And she does her friend a favor that manages like a Costco type warehouse, and she's going to go do a book signing. And on the day she goes to do this book signing, one of her twins is helping her set up her books. They have a nice place to help her to do this. A gunman comes in, a masked gunman comes in, and he starts to shoot up the store with an automatic weapon. And it's just mass confusion. She doesn't know where her son is. People are screaming, running, carts are everywhere. And she's had a lot of odd jobs before she got famous and before she made any money writing, like the rest of us. And she knows how to shoot guns and how to do things. And one of the security guards in the store just falls down in front of her, shot, and she picks up his gun, and she looks at the guy with the mask, and he has her ex-husband's eyes. That's all she can see is the eyes. And he gave those eyes to her twins, which they're exotic, gray, almond-shaped, very odd eyes. Like no one else has them except her twins and her ex-husband. And she aims at him. He aims at her first. Out of everyone in the store, people are laying all over the place. And she aims at him like, I know those eyes. But she just went to his funeral the month before.
Oh.
How the first chapter ends.
Ah, okay. Leave it there. Leave it. Don't tell us
Yeah,
anymore.
right.
But when is that one going to come out?
I didn't finish it yet, so it's almost finished. Though I'm 3/4 of the way through it, so I don't know. Certainly, hopefully, I hope to finish it by the end of the year. But
Nice. Now,
yes,
do you have a mailing list? Do you
hmm?
have a mailing list or a newsletter?
I don't. I wish to, but we've had so many medical problems. My husband just had a kidney transplant in March.
Ah,
And
yeah.
well, last year,
Yeah.
with him on life support. So
Oh dear.
yes, and then my brother gave him a kidney.
Oh wow. So he's okay.
Mhm.
He's doing okay now?
Yeah, he was well. You have to take all these anti-rejection drugs, and because so you don't lose that kidney. And he's having a little bit of a problem with the white blood count because they lower your whole
Your
immune
immune
system,
system? Yeah.
nothing. So
Yeah.
that gets a little creepy that you can't be near people. And so we're like back and forth to the hospital all the time. We spent all
Yeah.
the in the hospital. So
So yeah, so it's been a little distracting then.
like when you spend a whole year in a hospital, and like one day when I was in the hospital's like far from us, when he was on life support, I killed all my characters in one day sitting by his bedside. I was like,
Oh.
I was like, I'm so frustrated. I just killed them all off in one day. And my daughter came in and said, "What's the matter?" I said, "I killed off all my characters." She goes, "Okay, you need to fix that because you can't do that." I was like, "It was better than all the other people I wanted to kill." So
Yeah, if everybody dies, there's nobody to root for at the end. So,
yeah, really, I said, "I
and you
killed them
can't do
all."
a sequel.
Yes, yeah. She said, she goes, "Did you kill the dogs?" I go, "Maybe." She goes, "Sit back down and fix all that." Just get a good eraser and.
Yeah, it's funny. People will, and I'm just like that too. I was reading a Neil Gaiman book. Was it The Ocean at the End of the Street? And in the very beginning, spoiler, he kills this kitten or this cat in the very beginning. And I set the book down and I never picked it up again.
Yeah.
And I thought, nope, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it. So I said, you can kill
Oh,
all the people
yeah.
you want, but if you're going to kill the cat or the dog,
Yeah.
nope, I'm not reading it. Not doing
No, it's just a horrible thing. It's a horrible thing. But yeah, I mean, everything it gets better, it gets better, it gets better. But you know, and you're like always like in the back of an ambulance, you know, I'm thinking, I always bring I have a purse with all my notebooks and my pens and my pencils in it. So like with like, you know, all the meds in one bag and my notebooks and the pens and the pencils in the other, like as I'm dialing 911, I grab both things
Oh,
like,
no.
I'm ready, I'm going, like I'm fine, yeah, I'm fine. But you know, to get I need to get all that together, but you know, I need to get everything together, but you know, writing sort of keeps you, you know,
Yes.
when you can't control anything else, you can control the people in your book.
Yeah, you know, yeah, you can. Yeah, well, I mean, you know, every time you need to get even with somebody, and I've got characters that are based on people that just annoy
Yes,
the crap out of me, and so they become characters in books. It's
yes.
always a composite.
There's a lot of nurses and doctors in here that
Oh yeah,
like kill them all.
probably. You know, considering that's probably who you interact with the most in the last year.
Yes,
So,
yes. The ones I don't like die. No, I don't.
oh well, if
I just
people want to.
torture them. I don't.
Yeah. If people want to follow you, if you're listening and you want to follow Lori, then you can go. I don't know about Barnes and Noble and Kobo, but Amazon lets you follow authors. So if you go to Lori's page, now we'll have a link where I'm going to help her put together a universal link.
Thank
We're going
you.
to do that before the show airs. So we're going to do that, and then people can click on your universal link. It'll take them to wherever they like to buy books. And
That's nice.
then I know, especially for Amazon, people can follow you on Amazon, and it's underneath the author photo. There's a little button that says follow, and people click on that. And then every time you have a new book out, they'll get an email of when
Oh,
you have
that's
a new book.
wonderful.
So if you
Yeah.
don't have a newsletter, I mean, not everybody has to have a newsletter, you know, that at least people can follow you there and find out when your next book, because that sounds really exciting. That one does too. I love suspense. So I think if anybody likes the one, they're probably going to like all of them. So we'll go ahead and do that. And yeah, so we'll have the links to the books, Absolute Recall and I Love You to Pieces. And do you have a title yet for the third? You don't have to tell it if you don't want to yet.
I
Sometimes people like to keep that as a
You're My
reveal.
Favorite. My working title is You're My Favorite.
That's right. You're my favorite. I like that.
I tell my kids
So
that. I tell both my kids that all the time. You're my favorite because you're my favorite. And I had shirts made for both of them that say you're my favorite.
you're my favorite. You should have
'Cause
done it for the dog too.
they always say, yes, they always say, I'm mom's favorite. So I always go, that's right. You're my favorite. You're my favorite. And so I got them both shirts that say you're my favorite.
That's good. I like that. All right. Well, I will have links in the show notes for everybody. If you want to get Lori's books, they will be in the show notes. I'll have her put together. I will put together a universal link. So all you got to do is click the one link and it'll take you to wherever you happen to shop. And I know we've talked about universal links on the show before, and I know most of my listeners do follow not just Amazon, but Kobo and all the other places that have books out there. And thanks a lot for coming on. And I know I was going to say you're a New York transplant, right?
Yes. How could
Yeah.
you tell?
Yeah, I just laughed because I somewhere I read it. I think I read your bio in your bio on Amazon
Yes.
because my neighborhood, everybody in my neighborhood is from New York.
I know, aren't we all? Yes.
And I'm in Florida also. So
Yes. Well, I came from Massapequa Park, and it was I'm Italian really, and it was half Jewish and half Italian. But I came from we called it matzah pizza, so I came from the matzah part, even though I'm Italian.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. Okay, well, we'll end on a high note. So thanks a lot for coming on. All the
you.
links will be in the show notes, everybody, and I will talk to you later.
Thank you so much. That was fun.
Okay, thank you, Lori. Go check out her books. They will be listed in the show notes. And next time, like I said, I'm going to be chatting with Tom Fowler, mystery author. And if you have any book recommendations, let me hear them. Like I said at the beginning, you can either go to the show links if you're listening on the podcast, or you can go to YouTube, and you know what to do on YouTube. And if you just want to go to the website, you can go to melissabonzak.com and you will see a link for Books Cubed podcast. And you spell my name Melissa, B as in boy, AN, C as in car, Z as in zebra, AK.com, just like it sounds. So I will see you next time. Go read a good book.